Good morning, senior 3 secondary students from all over Egypt. Welcome to Ministry of Education e-learning platform. It's a new day and it's our pleasure to give you a fresh, fruitful beginning with our e-learning English session. Our presenters and producers for today, Mr. Osama Absalam, Gharbiya Governorate. Okay, we will start with a summary of the chapter to get the most important points in this chapter, and afterwards, inshallah, we are going to deal with questions. Yes, Ms. Amani, go ahead.
Okay, leaving Flavia's house, this is the title. Rasendell wasn't sorry to say goodbye to his brother Michael and his men, but he was sad to say goodbye to Princess Flavia. He wondered if he should tell her the truth and if he was wrong to pretend to be the king. The princess told Rasendell to be careful as his life meant a lot to the people of Britannia. So he is hesitating telling her the truth or continue the story. Okay, Mr. Ali? Yes, Mr. Ali, I'm with you. I completed first slides. Second one is yours. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Perfect claim. As you know, claim pretension. Almost nobody noticed that Rasendell was not the real king because he looked so like the king and he was very good at pretending that he had forgotten rules or people he had met them. He hoped his growing popularity with the people of Britannia would help them to forgive his occasional bad decisions. So he made use of his forgetfulness, and he wanted to make use of his popularity because people would love him and forgive him for his occasional bad decisions. Yes, Ms. Amani?
Okay. So here the next slide will be after this claim and after this what's going on around us, and the hope that Rasendell's to be have a strong side with him and his popularity will increase. Yes, next one will be. Yes, the next slide is not appearing in front of me. It's just a perfect claim.
Okay, Mr. Amani, like this until.
Yes, of course, it's okay. News about the king. Here we got to have news about the king. One day, Sabt brought Rasendell a letter from Antoinette de Montpen and told him that the king was at the castle of Zenda. 3 of Michael's 6 men, Crafton and young Robert Hentozo, the 3 biggest criminals in Britannia, were guarding the king at the castle. The drawbridge was nearly always kept up and nobody was allowed into the building without Michael's or Robert's permissions. You will see that the king will, at last we know his place and he's guarded perfectly. Yes, Mr. Ali?
Warning, yes, warning, Rasendell wanted to go to Zenda to rescue the king. Sabt warned him that if he went there, he would probably be killed by Michael's men. Rasendell's life was in danger, so Sabt ordered 6 men to follow him wherever he went. It would be very useful for Michael if he disappeared. And if he disappeared, I mean Rasendell, the game would be over. Digote, Personen, and the chart were in sterile south, and any one of them could catch him easily.
Yes.
Yes, go on, Miss Aman.
Yes, a letter from Antoinette to de Montpen. You see here they got a letter. In her letter, Antoinette asked Rasendell to meet her at the summer house, as she wanted to tell him something very important about his life. She asked him to come alone. If he didn't come, his life would be in danger. She said she was a loyal friend to him. She told him not to show that letter to anyone, or it would be put her in great danger. Michael would punish her. She told him to ask Sap if he didn't believe her. Yes. So here she wants to talk about with him. She becomes sincere, and she is afraid that if Michael knows about her, she is going to kill her or make her endangerous, her life endangerous. Yes, Mr. Ali.
Okay, doubts. Rasendell and Sab believed that the letter was written by Michael to trap Rasendell. Antoinette came to Britannia with her servants as a guest of Michael. She had a great argument with Michael, and she was staying somewhere in Sterile South. Yes, Ms. Amani?
Okay. Reason for going to the summer house. Rasendell decided to go to the summer house as he believed that Antoinette might have information about Michael and the king. Every day they left the king imprisoned there was more dangerous. Seth didn't want Rasendell to go there. So here Rasendell is going to sacrifice, and he's going to take the first step to help saving the king because he is in danger. Yes, Mr. Ali.
Okay, meeting Antoinette and Michael's plan. Rasendell into the house alone. Antoinette told him she knew he was not the king. Antoinette wrote the letter. Miss Amani.
Yes. Here is going to, she declared that she knows the truth and she wants to help him. Yes. Michael planned to kill Rasendell and take his body into the old town. The body would be found and Michael would arrest Colonel Sapt and Captain Fritz for murdering Rasendell. Then a messenger would be sent to Zenda and the real king would be murdered too. The Duke would then become the king. Antoinette said that she wanted to help Rasendell because she didn't want to see people being killed. Antoinette believed that Rasendell was never safe in the capital. Michael's men were waiting for a chance to kill Rasendell. She asked him to leave quickly. She would tell the Duke that he never came. So she wants to help and save his life, to save a lot of lives, not to be killed. Yes, Mr. Ali?
Thank you. Michael's men and their generous offer. Michael's men arrived. One of Michael's men, the Chart, offered Rasendell a safe journey to the border and 50,000 English pounds. Rasendell believed it was a trick to kill him. He pretended that he had accepted the offer. He asked the Chart to open the door from the outside. He held the iron table to protect him, and he rushed out of the door and knocked the three men down. He ran quickly away, firing his gun behind him and injuring the Chart's arm. He told Sapt about the table as they jumped on their horses and rode quickly back to the palace. So, Rasendell could escape from Michael's men. Moreover, he could injure the Chartist army, and he didn't accept their offer. Yes, Miss Amani?
Yes. It's a good plan. The report of the chief of police. Here, Sapt read Rasendell the latest report for the chief of the police. The report said that Michael left the capital and went to Zenda. An hour later, three of his men, Gautier, Persona, and Detachard, followed him. The teacher had a bandage around his arm, of course, because he was hurt by Rasendell. The report also said that people of the capital wanted the king to marry Princess Olivia as soon as possible. If this didn't happen, the princess should marry Michael. A ball had been held for Olivia. Rasendell was supposed to ask the princess to marry him. Saft told Rasendell to ask the princess to marry him. Rasendell said he couldn't do it as it wouldn't be fair to the princess. He wanted not to lie on her, but he wanted to follow the plan. He was in a dilemma, wondering what to do. Yes, Mr. Ali.
Thank you. The ball. The ball means a party. The ball was a great success. Flavia told Rasendell that everyone said that he had done a very good job. She praised him. He told her that someone once told him that a person who had a position in society had a responsibility. Do you know who is this person? Of course, Rose. He remembered the Rose's words.
Yes, Rose award.
Yes. He also said that when he was younger, he didn't realize that a position in society had responsibility. And this was a mistake. He made a mistake when he told Flavia this, because he already knew that he would be a king. He thought he didn't need to worry about society, as he believed that was someone else's job. Flavia was surprised to hear that, as she believed that Rasendell always knew that he would become king. Rasendell thought that he had made a mistake. Of course, he had made a mistake when he told her that he didn't expect to bear responsibilities. Yes, Ms. Aman.
A man of principles. Rasendell told Saft that everyone really thought he was the king, even the princess. He could even arrange for the Duke and the real king to be killed, but he won't do that. He also said he could not stand pretending to be the king anymore, as it wasn't fair for the people of Virginia, and it wasn't fair for the princess either. They couldn't wait any longer. They had to go to Zenda and rescue the king. So he has to act here and to end this acting scene and show the reality and get the king, real king, to his position. He is a fair man. Yes, Mr. Ali?
2 letters from Michael and Antoinette. Rasendell visited Flavia in her palace. She told him that she had received 2 letters. One was from Michael, who had invited her to visit Zenda. The second was from Antoinette de Mauban, who warned Flavia not to accept an invitation from Michael and not to go anywhere without many guards. Rasendell told Flavia to pretend that she was ill so as not to go to Zenda. Thus, she refused Michael's invitation.
Okay, a visit to Marshal Strachanzen. Rasendell trusts Marshal Strachanzen. He asked him to guard Princess Flavia and protect her from Michael's men. He told him he was worried about the Duke's ambition. He wanted him to just be careful from his ambition. Rasendell decided to go to Zenda to save the king. He told Marshal Strachanzen that every evening he would send him a message. If he didn't get a message for 3 days, he would declare himself the head of Strelso. Then he would ask the Duke to allow him to see the king. If the Duke didn't allow him to see the king in 24 hours, the marshal would say that the king was dead and Princess Flavia would become the ruler of Ruthenia. Here we see that he put a plan completely for anticipating what's going to happen. He asked the marshal to help him, and he put certain rules to follow and specific time to go on in this plan and to be saving the princess and the position of the king, of course. Yes, Mr. Ali, it's your turn.
Thank you. Now it's time for some questions. Number one, how did Rasendell feel on leaving the prince's palace? A, he wasn't sorry to say goodbye to Michael and his soldier friends. B, he was sad to say goodbye to the princess. C, he was happy to escape Michael's men's anger. D, both A and B are correct. Think carefully, my dear students. How did Rasendell feel on leaving the princess's palace? He wasn't sorry to say goodbye to Michael and his soldier friends. He was sad to say goodbye.
I think here we're going to concentrate it. Yes, sir. Yes, I think Mr. Osama is trying from another name. You have to allow him. I have. Okay. What did Rasendell wish he had told the princess about? He wished to tell her that he wasn't the real king. He wished he had asked her to marry her. He wished she had asked her to become a queen. He wished to tell her that he would leave the country. What did wish he had told? He wish had told that he wasn't the real king. Of course, he wanted to admit it, but he couldn't because of the plan. Number A, he wished to tell that he wasn't the real king, really, and clarify for her. Yes, Mr. Ali?
Nice, Mr. Aman. Yes.
Okay.
3A, to lose her confidence. B, because he wasn't the man she dreamed of. C, because he thought it was wrong of him to pretend to be the real king. Try to concentrate. Of course, the correct answer is the last one, B and C. He wasn't the man she dreamed of, and also he thought it was wrong of him to pretend to be the real king.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Anna.
Number 4. What did the princess ask Rasendell to be careful about? What did the princess ask Rasendell to be careful about? She gave him a strong advice. She asked him to be careful about his life. She asked him to be careful on leaving Ruthenia. She asked him to be careful about the money she had given him. She asked him to become careful about what to say and do. Of course, she wants him to be careful about his life, to be safe for the country and Ruthenia. She cares about him, of course. Yes.
Well done. Well done, Miss Anna.
Thank you, Mr. Ali.
5. What did Rasendell remember about Rose? He remembered what Rose had said about his brother's responsibilities in England. He remembered Rose's warning not to go to Ruthenia. He remembered Rose's advice to be careful about his visit to Ruthenia. D, he remembered Rose's demand to be careful about his money. Of course, letter A is the correct answer. He remembered what Rose had said about his brother's responsibilities in England. She advised him to be responsible because, as she said, position in society needs more responsibility. So the correct answer is letter A. Yes, Miss Amani.
Yes, we have number 6 here. How did Rasendell benefit from his growing popularity? He could defeat Michael. He could defeat the Marshal. He hoped his growing popularity with the people of Britannia would help them to forgive his occasional bad decisions. He could save the real king. Of course, the most important thing that anything he done wrong, he will be forgiven. He hoped his growing popularity with the people of Britannia would help them to forgive his occasional bad decisions he took it out, forget names, and so on. Number C.
Excellent, Miss Aman.
Thank you, Mr.
7. Sab had some important news of the king. What was it? Sab had some important news of the king. What was it? A. He became sure that the king was at the castle of Zenda. The marshal could save the king. C. Flavia could save the real king. D. Sab saved the real king. Of course, letter A is the correct answer. He became sure that the king was at the castle of Zenda. How, my dear students, he knew this? Because 3 of Michael's men are in the capital and the other 3 are guarding the king in the castle of Zenda. And no one can enter the castle without orders from Michael himself or from Robert Hentizam. So the correct answer, he became sure that the king was at the castle of Zenda. Yes, Miss Amani.
Yes, thank you. Number 8. Why was Rosenthal angry about being followed by 6 men? You see that Sab found for his safety he will be followed by 6 men. They gave him headache. They disturbed his plans. He didn't need such help. He could look after himself. Sab didn't like that. Of course, he was sure about himself. He didn't need such a help. He could look after himself. He thought that is a waste. It is a waste of time. Okay, number T is the right one.
T, well done, Nick.
Thank you, Mr. Right. It's your turn.
9. What did Antoinette ask Rasendell to do in his first letter? What did Antoinette ask Rasendell to do in her first letter? Yes. A. To leave the country rapidly. To go to Zenda to save the king. C. To meet her alone in the summer house to tell him an important thing about his life. D. To be careful with the throne. Okay, what did she tell Rasendell in her first letter? C. The correct answer is C. To meet her. She wanted Rasendell to meet her, to meet Antoinette de Mauban alone in the summer house to tell him an important thing about his life. She told him Michael's plan to get rid of him
and take care to go on and carry on his plan to save the king and save a lot of lives because she is a kind person. She felt that a lot of blood, a lot of people is going to be killed and hurt. It is not needed. In evil work to be done. Yes, Mr. Ryan.
Yes. She was a good person. She didn't want to see bloodshed.
Yes.
Yes. The last one for today, Mrs. Amani. Yes. The last one for today.
Okay. Number 10. What would happen if the pretend king didn't go to the summer house? The king's life would be in danger. His life would be in danger. Flavia would be in danger. Michael's life would be in danger. Of course, his life would be in danger because he's the first pretended one. I'm sorry, his life would be in danger. Number B, and he wanted to save them. the king lives would be in danger if he didn't go there, and he cost him his life or killing him. It's all about Michael. He wants to end these sons because he wants to end and take the throne and take the place of the king quickly, and he wants to get rid of Rasendell first time by bribing him, giving him money to go safety, and then after that if not, he's going to kill him to get the throne and married Flavia. But with the help of those who are in a good deed, they are going to try to change his plan and to win over him, to get over him ahead, and so that's why Rasendell decided to go to Zenda to save the king and end all this trouble, to get him out to his position and to marry the queen herself.
Man, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now, Mr. Ali.
I think, okay, I think this is the end. We have a form. I think it's better to leave it for our students to do, because time is up now. What do you think?
It's okay if you want to put it to see first or two words. It's okay. It's not. It's up to you. It's okay.
Okay, Mesh, we can stop here and we will share the form to see.
Yes, just look at it. Have a look.
Okay.
Of course, my dear students is going to concentrate it on the events and it's going to, all the question will be choices. So be careful in the tiny details of the story, and this will help you to go through it perfectly. Just you have to do a lot of exercises or choices, questions that help you to go through it. So you have to concentrate it on a lot of questions and using as many questions in choices. We have here certain ideas will be in a form, and we give you a chance about 22 or 20 questions. You can do it and help yourself in it. This variety of choosing questions will help you to cover all the chapter itself, and you can also look for other choices that's related to the chapter itself, so you can handle it inshallah perfectly, and it will be done in a good way. Anyhow, it's you, I think.
Can you see the form now?
No, still it's not seen, Mr. Ali.
Okay.
It's seen till now.
You will see it now.
Okay, inshallah.
Right.
I was telling our student that he has to concentrate it on the events and in the story, and do a lot of choices, questions that help them to cover the chapters they have. This will help them, inshallah, in the exams, and it will be in a good way, inshallah.
Yes, Miss Amani.
Yes, here it's appeared now. What did Rasendell blame himself for? For not telling the truth to the princess, for saying goodbye to Michael, saying goodbye to the princess, not marrying the princess. Of course, it is not telling the truth. Yes, number 2, Mr. Ali.
Okay. Who realized? Yes, Miss Amani.
Number 3, how did Rasendell justify making mistakes? He said that he make a lot of mistakes and he forget names. He had forgetting the rules. He was unconscious. He was so popular. he was still beginner. Of course, the first one, he had forgetting the rules.
4. Who handed Rasendell the letter from Antoinette? Fred, Stab, Michael, Johan. I think he's Stab.
Yes, number 5. When would the game is over from Sap's point of view? If Rasendell disappeared for the scene, if Michael is the king, if the king was crowned, if Robert was killed, course number 1, if Rasendell disappeared from the scene. And I think we're going to stop with number 6. Mr. Ali, it's your turn.
Okay. Why did Antoinette leave Michael's guest house? A. She was bored with it. She couldn't stand living in it. She built a new house. She had a great argument with Michael. Of course, the last one, she had a great argument with Michael. As Ms. Amani has just said, I think this is the end of our session for today. We will leave you the link of the form to complete the exercise yourselves. I think
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ali, for your great work. And on behalf of my colleagues and friend, Mr. Osama, Mr. Ali, Ms. Wafa, and me, Amani, wish you all the best and take care and good luck. Have a nice weekend. See you, inshallah, next week. Mr. Ali.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Amani. You were and you are always wonderful.
Thank you.
And my students study hard and follow us next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Yes,